Breathe. I can't hear you breathe at all, dude.
I don't think I was breathing.
I'm still trying to deal with my sweet baby girl going off to college.
That's a tough one for anybody, my friend.
Hey, my oldest niece is getting ready to start high school.
Yeah. Yep.
How does that make you feel?
Feel old.
No.
Oh, that's early.
Here you go. Feel old.
That's great. Oh, episode 261.
It's only taken us too damn long.
Yeah, you know, some people don't get past 10 or 1. What it do, yo? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, episode 261 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. Yes, we came a little bit early today.
Don't.
That's what she said. Go ahead and get it in there, buddy. We came on the air a little bit early today. We're glad to have you all here with us for another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. Myself, Darrell Owens, my man to my left, Jeremiah.
We got the warning from Becca. Y'all are live.
Yeah, we knew. We just were talking. We didn't say, God, that sounded...
That sounded like you came early.
You sound like, you know, when you're one of those Pepsi commercials and you hit, and you said, that's what it sounded like. Well, to the T.
I thought you was talking about that time when you fucking gave me alcohol poisoning with jungle juice.
That's great. Well, I wasn't trying to take you out.
No, you took me out. Like, it was like 3 rounds with Tyson. No, fuck that. 3 punches with Tyson.
3 punches with Tyson. I know it was something like that. But glad to have you all with us, and we've got a lot to talk about because it has been a very busy couple of weeks, Jay. Very busy. A lot going on. We've had to deal with the wonderfulness that is the new Washington football team. It has been a, as Jay likes to say, well, I'm not going to say it because it's going to sound bad, but you know.
Goat rodeo.
Yeah, it's been wild. And so we're going to start off with the Washington situation.
They had how long to come up with the damn team name?
Well, see, all right, so I was thinking that same way. I'm like, well, man, how long does it take to really come up with a team name? But then one of our colleagues, Karita Parks, you know, she, you know, does PR, and she said one of the biggest things that you have to look for, especially with the rebranding, if they would have rushed this, it probably wouldn't have came together.
Right.
They you know, because think about it, most expansion teams, when you're rebranding, you're taking all this stuff off the shelf. They, you know, in the email we got today, it says it's going to take them 50 days just to get everything switched over from the Washington name over to, you know, from the Redskin, you know,
the
name.
Team.
Right. So, I mean, if it's going to take them 50 days just to do that, and they have, I mean, rebranding all this stuff, there was no way they were going to be able to get this done before that.
I can understand that, but this is something that is not like it just popped up. We've known, I mean, hell, training camp, that one dude out in 108-degree weather walking with the sign. they had to know it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like for the longest time, we the vibe was okay. It's there, but it may not happen, or it probably never will happen. And now that it's happened, I think that we've seen it in different angles, and then me and you talked to ourselves and said, well, we see it from this angle. We see it from some Native American side, and then we see it from the fan side. It's like, man, I've been a fan for forever.
Right.
And I mean, it's funny to me just listening to the people on Facebook who are just. I mean,
I'll
social.
go ahead and take the just because I don't want to ruin your image.
No, you're good.
I had a friend that said he's a Cowboys fan, of course, and he's like, why don't they just go with the Washington Foreskins?
There's a strategy for you.
I mean,
it's wild, man, because to me, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, it's going to be a complicated process. We talked about the dude that went into the names, he snagged them suckers and said, I'm going to put them in my pocket. And, whatever way they go with this is a really good chance for them to help, those fans have maybe like interact with trying to figure out how
What's
they
up,
want to do
Vicky?
this.
How you doing?
Maybe they find a way like, okay, maybe we pick a couple names and let the fans choose. I mean, that might be the way they go here.
I mean, to keep the fan base, appeased, I really think that would be the best way to do it.
Right.
But for me, also, I've read another thing that they've been in talks with Keanu Reeves and the guys that made the replacements because they're really considering the Sentinels.
And that would be interesting. I mean, you think they keep those Senators jerseys though?
No,
they can't keep it. They can't keep those jerseys though.
But I mean, if and when football starts, think how much if they don't have a team name, they're gonna lose in merchandise sales.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. You can see the strategy now seems pretty legit.
Right.
All right, we're gonna take the logo off, take the name. They keeping the jerseys pretty much, except for just putting, instead of Redskins here, it's Washington here. The helmet has a number on there instead of the logo, which makes them truly look like Alabama now. But
I like the one Becca sent us.
Yeah, it was great.
It said
that was great.
WTF on the side. But
I mean, it's a wild situation, and we haven't even talked about the real rough part of the week.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we found out everything last Monday about them officially retiring the name, but what happened on Friday was a monstrosity.
Shit show.
There
I
it is.
Say
That's what I was waiting for.
Because Dan Snyder and his inner circle, which we don't even know. They put some names, but knowing an NFL owner and what we've seen, that inner circle is much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I'm gonna tell you what, I read, but like for me, I don't read as much as I probably should, but I read every bit of this, and I said to myself, man, it was almost like a soap opera. You couldn't put it down, and it made you feel bad because, like, for me, I know a lot of the people, or I've met or seen a lot of the people that are involved in
the
this.
one young lady,
yeah,
that I believe you did a one-on-one with, correct?
No. Not yet. Maybe one day.
I was trying to help you out.
I saw you try to work the magic with it. But, she, we've known her for the last year or so, and, phenomenal person, great football mind, great.
Amazing reporter.
Right.
Breaks it down. I mean, just very strategic in the way that she comes about being a journalist.
Right.
And, it's not fair. Maybe, it's not like when I was a kid, or hell, even when you were a kid,
right,
when you could be walking through the mall and whistle at a girl and wink at her.
Yeah, you can't do none of that now.
Now you get,
you better not do anything.
You get thrown in cuffs.
Yeah,
But, these guys really believe that they're untouchable. You're about to find out they're not.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a person and you're thinking to think those things, you better make sure you say a disclaimer before you even think about it. My actions are not what I... Yeah, you better say something early. But like I said, the whole situation is just... It's It's really tough, and the fact that we've been around the team for the last 3 years, and it's
Well,
some of it would have never expected
we
that
said
it was
change
going
of
on.
culture. We didn't realize it was going to go this big.
No.
I mean, if Washington can get the right people in
Mm-hmm.
and go through the process, it's going to be bumpy. Get it done. Washington has the talent. I believe they have the right head coach.
Right. Agreed.
I really think, Washington could be one of those teams that pushes for, at least the NFC
Right.
championship. I don't know about, Pat Mahomes and his $300 billion.
His quadrillion dollars that he's making now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the Redskin team for me is they're going to be. I'm gonna say a little ways away, but they're a little ways away. I think that they're starting to make the moves in the right direction, and I think most fans would tell you if they could have it their way, Daniel Snyder would be gone like that.
Well, and a lot of the other majority owners want him gone.
I mean, it's a stain on the league. It's just, let's be honest. I mean, not to sugarcoat, it's a stain on the league.
But see, this is my thing, okay?
Right.
Remember what happened to the Clippers
Yes.
about 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Why is, Roger went and changed his thing on taking a knee, BLM. SmackDown. Get rid of his ass. I hate, we cover the Redskins, and I don't want to taint anything that they've done for us because they've done wonders for us.
Right.
But if that is the case, he needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, the verbal abuse, the stuff that was coming out, if what he said they did, they made the guy who used to be a cheerleader do a cartwheel after the meeting because he made him mad, or it was just stuff. If it's true, man, brother, yeah, there's a lot of fixing they got to do in Washington.
But some of the stuff, like that exact example, that stuff you just really can't make up.
No, right. It almost sounded like when I first was hearing it, I'm like, man, that's it's so outlandish it has to be true is what you would think.
Exactly, because it's not your normal scripted, BS.
Right. And it was really, really different. I don't even know, man. I'm still baffled about it. But let's talk some good Washington football team news. I'm about to change all my pictures. Whatever. Some good Washington football team news. Chase Young signs today. He's got a 4-year, $34.5 million.
$22 million guaranteed.
And I've seen a couple of lists where people but just because of the addition of Chase Young, this is going to be a top 5, or at least defensive line next year.
I'm gonna go one different and say before Chase Young, I think they were a top 5 defensive line last year.
Yeah, that's true. They
just added a whole different level of pass rush. And this could take and make them a top 10 defense.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm looking at. Like, man, this is.
What's up, Matt? How you doing, man?
I feel like this is gonna be wild. I mean, that's what I'm intrigued to see how this season goes. Because teams that usually take this much, they have to deal with this much. They find a way to persevere. It seems like a perfect story to be like, despite all of this stuff, the Washington football team
that way,
right? But we'll see.
It's one of those things that time will tell.
Time will tell. Let's head to the next one. Topic on Legacy on Fire. So earlier today, reported by old TMZ, and TMZ will get it right every now and then. God bless him. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are planning to fight September the 12th in California, 8-round exhibition. Now, we've had a chance to see some Mike Tyson videos out there, and he still looks as crisp as he did.
He still looks good, but I mean, at his age, at both their ages, I'm going to go with an Adam Sandler quote, they might be better having a getting off the couch competition.
Man,
than an actual, boxing match, because one of them connects.
Hey, boom, connects.
He's not gonna remember the next 30 years.
That's hilarious. Hey, boom, connects. Yeah.
And and then if the wrong guy connects, tennis elbow or some shit.
Right.
But the thing that's intriguing to me is the undercard.
Yeah, the undercard is going to be quite interesting. You got Nate Robinson, former slam dunk champion.
And I think actually DJ is taller than him.
Yeah. And who's he? Paul?
Yeah.
Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
Yeah, internet superstar.
That guy, he is not he's an internet douchebag because
I mean, that too, but
the stuff he pulled over there in China, I mean, he lost millions upon millions of dollars.
Dumb stuff.
And
It's just dumb stuff, man.
He's just trying to find another way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, for me, this is a publicity thing. This would be like, no offense, but like Mr. Rulebeck taking on the Kool-Aid Man.
Let me tell you something right now. It'd be a bad deal. I'm probably gonna lose.
But,
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that I just.
It's awkward. Like it doesn't. There's no substance behind it. If they were beefing, maybe there's something I missed. Maybe they were beefing. He said something about his mom. He said something about his dad. Something, and then they're trashing it. Okay, now I see it. Now I see why y'all are going after each other. But I mean, other than that, it's to like, okay, whatever. That's how I feel about it.
I agree. I would feel more of like if you threw Chris Brown into the ring with somebody.
Oh, sheesh.
Maybe Rihanna. No,
Rihanna's dad. Or something like that.
No, because that wouldn't be a fight.
It would
be murder.
It would be bad. It'd be a bad deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it should be fun to see. I mean, I guess we'll see Iron Mike back in the ring. We've seen the videos. I just don't. For me personally, I need this to go no more than 3 rounds because I feel like anything after 3 rounds, they're gonna be winded. Heck, they might be winded after the first.
Do you think when they get in the ring, they're gonna have Depends on?
It depends. It depends.
TC, what's up, brother? Good to see, and good to hear from you again.
That's right, brother. I hope all is well out there in the old Boston town. Hey, man, real quick, TC, you gotta talk to those Red Sox fans out there. They wild, bro. They wild. I was looking at a post on Twitter today. Red Sox posted Black Lives Matter across the thing, bruh. Every person said, "That's it. Your fate is sealed," or they kept saying like, "That seals the deal for me." So I went and posted, like, so all of these people are no longer Red Sox fans. It's like, this seals the deal for me. If you're a black person, and then I'm not trying to get political, but you're a black person and you play for Boston, and then you see all of that, I'm like, man, do I really want to play for Boston anymore? Mookie Betts. I mean,
one of the icons of that franchise, David Ortiz.
Yeah.
I know he's not technically black because he's Dominican.
He dog.
But
he looking. He was. Let's be honest. He looking.
So I mean, I just, for me, it's one of those things that I'm baffled by because I don't see skin color.
Right.
I see a person and
a personality or something in that race.
And that's how I make my judgment off them.
Yeah.
Whether they're a douche canoe or they're actually, good people.
Douche canoe. So what do you thought before we move on? Thoughts on the Mookie Betts on Money?
Well, you know how I feel about the money. The people, if you do a 1-year deal, show me that you still got it and go about it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
But almost every case where we've seen the multi-year deal, like Kirk Cousins, I'll throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
He got his 28 from them over 5 years or some shit, and has done what?
Oh, yeah, he got 1 playoff win. 1.
For $28 million?
I mean, that's the market for the QB nowadays, man. I mean, that's what they're looking at.
No offense, TC, but we got Tom Brady for 25 in his wheelchair.
That's true. As long as he gets y'all in the playoffs, that's a start.
TC says Red Sox fans are wild.
yeah, they are. I can definitely see that. had me on Twitter dying laughing earlier.
I was actually just talking the other day about when I was up there doing my proton treatment at Mass Gen, and I won the one of the very 4 or 5 times I went to the game. and it was the first time Ubaldo Jimenez got kicked out of the game for throwing and hitting batters. And I was sitting on third baseline, like 5 seats up. Oh, I talked so much shit to him because we gave up the farm for that asshole.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one Cy Young. I don't know if he won the Cy Young that season, but he was in the top 5 or top 2 of Cy Young.
It was when he was with the Rockies.
Yeah,
that's what we basically donated a liver and a kidney to his ass.
Said, hey man, we'll take him from you.
And it was just like whatever.
His career was over after that. It was just it was a bad deal. Now let's talk Major League Baseball, because guess what? Major League Baseball is back tonight, man. I mean, we got I believe it's the Nationals and the Yankees coming on at 7, and then we got the Dodgers and the Giants at 10. So those are 2 opening day, opening night matchups, and
I also saw that they're thinking about changing the playoffs because they were, instead of doing 16, or I could be wrong. I know they're moving from 8 to 16 teams.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if they're just doing it for this, but I did hear that they were thinking about doing 16. You know what that means?
More baseball.
No, that means the Mariners got a chance. They're gonna look. They'll be 17.
Don't say that shit.
I'm just being honest, man. I mean, I just want to see the playoffs again. I mean, it was what
99.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I was 19 the last time they made the playoffs.
I was young.
That was a bit.
That's all I got. That's all I got on that. But so let's talk. I mean, you see it rolling. Like, what do you think? What do you think of this season? Like, it's a short season. It's 60 games. Who do you think has the advantage going into these 60 games?
The real thing that I'm worried about is with the pitchers.
Right.
They're not getting the chance to warm up. I think we're gonna see a very large uptick in Tommy John.
Because of it.
Because there's no warm ups. There was no, for me in the AL, it hurts. It really hurts a lot. But I see the Yankees pulling and doing something and coming out of that. And in the NL, I'm sticking with the Nationals.
Sticking with the Nationals.
Just because the Dodgers, they got that choke factor.
I look at the Dodgers. I mean, the talent they have on their team.
Yeah, but they had that talent last year.
They had that talent the last 7 years. They just don't. They don't win games. Like they can't win the big one.
Well, and Clayton Kershaw has got something he got to get figured out in the playoffs.
He reminds me a lot of
Zach Greinke.
Yeah, but if I had to give you like another sports person analogy, like they just don't show up in the playoffs. Most people would say Tony Romo, because Tony Romo statistically was phenomenal if you look at it. I mean, except for his few clutch moments where he just looked bad, he was great all around. But when it came to the playoffs, my man just
came to crunch time.
When the crunch time, it just looked bad for him. Right. Things just didn't go his way.
I agree.
And so I look at that and say, like, Kershaw just got to figure it out in the postseason. I mean, maybe a shortened season will help him with that. I don't know.
It could be, but if I had to pick a second team for the NL, it would definitely be the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves are, if they. Well, I'm a little sad because they signed Puig, and I said, they're going to be fire. And then they didn't. They ended up not keeping him because he failed his physical because he had coronavirus, I think. I think he had COVID.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
Those sound like the professionals, okay?
Yeah.
You say coronavirus and makes it
sound like this is real.
Been down at the pub a bit much.
That's hilarious. But I just look at it and say, if I had to give you 2 teams, it's tough. I would say the Yankees, one. But the team that I really am intrigued to see how they would do, because it seems like every couple of years a team that kind of they're a really good team but a no name, but they have really good players. Kind of like the Royals. Remember how the Royals won that championship?
I was thinking the Royals.
But I would say the Rays. I think the Rays are going to be a team that watch out for in the AL.
The Rays, I don't hate that.
Cha-ching.
Drink something. I don't care what it is. You're not drinking that? No. But the Rays don't have the pitching to, for 60 games they might find some, but after that, I don't think they really have the pitching talent.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say the Rays might finish worse than Baltimore this year.
That's saying a lot. And
Well,
Baltimore
because
doesn't have much at all.
with Jeter doing what he's doing down there, he's rebuilding. They brought in a lot of new pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, don't want to sound like a homer. The Indians. The only problem with the Indians is even if they're number one in their division, the Lindor is done. He will not be an Indian anymore.
I can't see it going past. I mean, they've been trying to trade him for 2 years at least.
They have, but if his numbers are high, he's gone. And if his numbers are low, he's gone.
They're going to find a way to get rid of him.
Well, they ended contract negotiations with him in February, I believe.
I mean, but it's tough for a small town, a small market team to keep players like that. It's tough. It's tough for a small market team to keep a player like that. It just is. It just is.
It is, but they also want to make sure they get their fair value.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wanted from the Dodgers before they went and got Betts.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was fair, but the Dodgers didn't.
What else do they want? what else do they want? The Dodgers, maybe they should take away some of the superstars they have and maybe bring some of these guys in, and maybe they'll win it.
And I think Lindor's 26.
Yeah, he's young. He's young. I mean, they could probably sign him to a 13-year contract too.
He's a good character guy. He is fun in the clubhouse. He's a leader. I'm gonna miss him.
Right.
I really and the next one we got coming in 2 years is Jose Ramirez.
You ain't got to deal with that too. But y'all always rebuild. Y'all always find like good people. Your farm system, even when it's depleted, they find ways to rebuild that thing. You've always been able to do that.
But we lost our head scout last year. That's a big thing. He retired.
That's not good.
But anyways, on to the next.
Yeah, all right, so let's move on to the next one. The last one on Legacy on Fire. The NBA scrimmages started yesterday, so sports are slowly. We're getting there, brother. They're trickling back in. We got training camp starting next week, but the NBA had scrimmages start up yesterday, and it was just like I was very impressed on how they had it looking in the bubble. We've heard all this talk about the bubble this, the bubble that, sneaking women in, all this stuff. But last week, when they last had the corona check, nobody tested positive. So them keeping everybody centralized, they've kept it pretty under wraps since then.
I mean, that's good. But, the whole bubble thing and, I was actually sad because I watched them demolish the Palace at Auburn Hills.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I seen a couple concerts there, but remember the Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
And
now it's what, Little Caesar Arena or something like that. I don't know what they got going on.
It's nothing now because it laid down.
So where do they play at now though?
I don't know. They just blew it up.
I thought they had a new arena. Oh my God! Yeah, but I mean, so far, like I said, watched the games yesterday. I was preseason or restart, whatever.
Who do you think is gonna go through with this?
It's tough. Everybody automatically says the Lakers or the Bucks, but for me, I feel like there's a couple teams that could surprise them because of the situation they're in. Like this is
the Heat.
No, I mean because I still feel like the Heat are another piece away before they can truly compete. But they're really good defensively. Duncan Robinson had a phenomenal game last night. I mean, he was looking like it just. This is all going to be coaching. If this is going to be like watching. I remember going to summer league basketball games when I was a kid, and I remember going to summer league basketball games, and your coaches are in the polos, which they were rocking last night. Nobody's in their suits, in their polos, and it had a summer league feel to it last night. I'll be honest with you, bro. Like. It could. There's a couple of teams I feel like could make a run here, depending on the style of play. They took the crowd out of it. It's pretty much a neutral court. I mean, they like in the one game they have like the Nuggets guy in the back, right. Defense, but that doesn't faze you when you don't have all the people throwing peanuts and yelling and screaming at you. You can just focus on. It's just like sexy pickup ball / summer league.
Exactly.
It's
I agree. The Atlanta Falcons. Or Falcons. The Hawks. Sorry.
Well, I mean, the Hawks didn't make it into the bubble.
Well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, they're only a couple. No, there was.
I know my Cavs didn't make it either.
Cavs, Hawks.
Well, in that case,
Suns,
it's got to be the Celtics.
Wolves. The Celtics are going to be dangerous, I think, too.
Because it's not going to be the Nets. Because
yeah. I don't.
They have like 3 players.
Dude,
left.
I don't know how they're still surviving. I don't know what's going on in Brooklyn, bro, but they got to figure that out. All right, everybody, that was Legacy on Fire. And now it's time for... It wasn't loud today.
I was ready for it. I was waiting for that shit to scare the shit.
It wasn't loud today. Look, I turned it down.
About damn time.
I scared myself last time. It was so loud last time I almost jumped out of the seat. So
Becca says they are cleaning everything like crazy down there. Hand sanitizer everywhere.
yeah, I mean it's.
Does that mean they have prophylactic balls?
No comment. I don't even know.
Anyways, who are you choosing?
Who you choosing in their prime? Ocho Cinco or Tio? Oh shoot, Dad's calling. Look at Pops. I can't call. I can't talk to Pops. Pops are in the middle of the show. Pops. Look.
I know, but it's Pops.
It's Dad. I'll
but
call.
Dad don't call that that much.
Hey, Dad, I'll call him back.
Okay.
I call Pops back.
But so Ocho Cinco or Tio? I'm going Tio.
I thought about this. Like, I was like, they're both. You got to deal with both antics.
Mm-hmm.
Which antics were more, I guess, that you could deal with? But
I mean,
it was tough though because I really like Ocho Cinco as a player all around. There was a couple times I couldn't stand T.O. But I think if you go all around, you got to pick T.O.
For me, it was Tio because I watched that race that he had with Tyreek.
Right.
And he was only a couple steps behind Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean, he gave him maybe like a 5-yard head start. But I mean, he's 46, so I mean, he's out there still making things happen at 46.
Tio he always showed up. Ocho, Tio went to the Cowboys and then to Philly, and it didn't matter where he went. He always played up to his standard.
He always played up to the standard, and even he was in Buffalo, and he had Buffalo looking good. He looked good in Buffalo. Even in Cincinnati, when him and Ocho played together, he looked better than Ocho during that time.
And Ocho, when he went to the Patriots,
just shut down.
So that
if you'd have sent T.O. to New England that season, there's no way that they,
TB12 is trying to get Moss to come out of retirement.
Forget Moss. You better go get T.O. You see the shape T.O.'s in? Sheesh.
No, I want T.O. We don't need any more wide receivers, bro.
You don't. You need running backs.
That's exactly. Thank you.
You go get Ray Rice.
No.
No, but Ray's been out the game too long. We can't do Ray Rice. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna go with T.O. on that one. Next one. Who you choosing? If you had to pick an owner for your team, because these two are out there trying to own teams right now or be a part of ownership, would you choose J-Rod, a.k.a. J-Lo and A-Rod, or would you choose Kevin Garnett to be your owner of your sports team?
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Yep. Nothing against A-Rod or J-Lo. I just... there's just something about A-Rod that I've never liked. Even when he came up, and you know how I am about the prospects coming up.
Right.
I just didn't like him personally. And KG, coming straight out of high school, looked good, played professionally, even in his older years, looked great. So for me, it's KG. I really think he knows how to build a system.
I would probably say that's tough. I'm going to actually go with J-Lo Incorporated because I feel like even though I cannot stand Alex Rodriguez, not a fan, never been a fan. Even when he was with Seattle, I just felt like there was some vibe about him. I felt like he never really wanted to be there. He used it as a stepping stone to get to where he needed to be. Whatever. I mean, and I'm not going to knock him for getting his money, but I just never been a fan. So when he came out, steroids, all that stuff, I was like, whatever. If I probably met him now, I'd probably be like, hey, Ron, how you doing? But in my mind, I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stay professional on top of that. But yeah, I mean, J-Lo might.
Vicky says,
J-Lo might
"Sorry,
win it for me.
Redskins forever." Hey, everybody's got their opinion.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, people are attached to them. I mean, they're attached. I mean, they heart and soul. I mean, I know my brothers. Two of my brothers have been Redskin fans or Washington football team fans or whatever since they were kids. My dad is a Redskin fan, which that's something I haven't talked
tons
about.
of people out there with tattoos.
Yeah. Drew, we love you, man. I know it's rough. But I mean, it's one of those things.
Vicky said J-Lo.
See, J-Lo, man, it's all about J-Lo.
But she's more of a halftime show than an owner. My opinion.
It's just funny. It's a halftime show. Hey, she did great at the halftime show this year, except for some people. It's like, this is too provocative for my children.
But you're gonna let them watch riots and shit? Yeah.
It's like too provocative for my children. All right, next one. Who you choosing? This one's interesting.
Oh, this one's easy for me.
In their prime, are you taking Andre Agassi or Pete Sampras?
Pete Sampras, hands down.
Pete Sampras, baby. Hey,
I loved Pete. I loved their rivalry, and I didn't know this, but I like when I wake up in the mornings, I go through watch some sports videos. And stuff.
Right.
Do you know he is married to the girl that played the teacher in Billy Madison?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He's married to her?
He's been married to her for like 17 years.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, the girl from Billy Madison she was beautiful.
She was Miss Washington, I believe. But, I mean...
She was hilarious in Billy Madison, because this is the way she played the part. That was hilarious.
She did a couple others, and then she just retired from acting to be with the family. And, but watching Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi was great for me, because, that was when I was...
Watching it. It's hard... I don't watch it as much as I used to.
Wasn't Agassi married to Steffi Graf?
Yeah, they've got a couple kids together.
Are they still married? I don't know.
As far as I know, they are. I think they're still married, yeah.
Pete Sampras, hands down, man.
See, this is tough for me, because as a kid, I couldn't stand Pete Sampras. You know why? Because he won all the time. And you know how it was when you're a kid. He's like, I can't stand the teams that win all the time. He, to me, is like the equivalent of Tim Duncan to the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, their demeanor, they're quiet guys. You don't hear that much from them, but they get the job done. So when the first time I thought,
Pete.
You go with Pete. I'm going with Andre, because I like the renegade in Andre. I always was mad when he cut his hair, like when he cut it completely off, because he had
to look like you.
He had the the horseshoe. He had the horseshoe going on. Then he went completely bald, and I used to love Andre Agassi, man. I really wanted Andre to win, man. He could never beat Pete, man.
I just could not stand Agassi. I love just the way Pete played. He never came off cocky to me.
Right.
And he played for what I felt the love of the game. He just wanted to be the best. And at the time, he was the best.
Yeah. I mean, he was the man with the most majors until Federer took it. But, I think Sanford sometimes is forgotten, because they don't talk about him. Like, we know he was great, but that's why I said, like, he gets the comparison to Duncan. Duncan's got 5 rings, but if you told somebody who would you pick, like Duncan or Charles Barkley, a lot of people would pick Charles Barkley over him. I mean, most people, and I'm saying me, but I mean, a lot of people would pick him or pick Karl Malone. Some people would pick Karl Malone over Tim.
Well, but the mailman could never deliver because he ain't got no rings.
Mailman. I'm not a fan of Karl.
Neither am I.
Sorry, Karl. Whatever. No, I'm not sorry. Whatever.
You're a terrible father.
I'll
say it for you.
That's the nicest thing that you've ever said to somebody. Or at least to him anyway. All right, everybody. That was who you choose. And now we're going to go to... But before we go to it, give a shout out to all of our people on the network, all the hard work they put in.
Thank you all.
If you haven't had a chance to go check out all of the previews that everybody has have put through in the last couple of weeks. All our baseball articles. Russ is coming out tonight. right before we start the
Becca's
season.
NASCAR.
Becca's NASCAR. We got a couple of NBA preview articles out. Make sure you go check those out. We get.
One more thing, I told you I was gonna throw this out. Seabreeze detailing and car clean. Our graphics guy Cody Stewart, amazing work. If you need just great prices, also just get a hold of him. Even go through our Facebook page. We'll get you his information. Check him out, please.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, just check out all the shows we got going on the network. And hit our people up. We got Rob and Drew. They got In and Out. We've got Lamont's doing Commonwealth Sports Talk with Joe Dillard. And we're out there just trying to bring the best to you guys. So we hope that you guys are appreciating all the hard work we're trying to put in for you. And we're going to keep pushing, and hopefully we can make the brand better. That's all we can ask. All right, everybody. It is time for my favorite segment of the show. It's time for.
And now,
oh shoot!
it's time
Wasn't
for
plugged in.
Because
a dad called, man.
Don't blame it on Dad. It's on you.
I gotta blame it. Well, yeah, it's my fault because I pulled it up, but that's what she said. Go ahead. Yo.
Quitter.
That's hilarious. All right. All right, everybody. It's time for Cash Trash. This show has been like this this episode has been like this from the beginning.
Hey, I've been pretty good.
You actually been pretty good. It's all me this time. Cash and Trash. Cash and Trash on the Madden rankings. Everybody. It feels like every year the ratings get worse for Madden. Every year, like there's always somebody complaining. And
but
what are your thoughts?
I've heard some of them, and it don't make sense to me. Like, Gronk was out of football for a year and comes in at a 95.
They got Aaron Rodgers at 89. So I'm.
Well, but Levante David, one of the best outside linebackers, they got him at speed like 86.
I think the person that be doing the ratings be drunk.
And
he got to be drunk, man. Like
Devin White had a great year last year as a rookie.
Right.
Like 6 weeks straight defensive rookie of the week.
He was killing it.
And he went from a 76 to a 79.
That's crazy.
So the Madden ranking guy has got to be in a back broom closet smoking pot.
But it just blows my mind that it can be that bad. I mean, that he can be this terrible at his job. Right. And they let him get away with this. They don't have no NFL player that comes in and says, okay, look, it needs to be like this and that. Now, our man Danny Thompson, at the three-point conversion, he actually used to work for EA. And he told me, he said the Madden, the rankings are they used to be a little bit more accurate, but he said that they changed a lot.
Mike Thomas a 99. Now, I'm not going to disagree, but they said they did it so they didn't have to hear him whine. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, dude. When I heard that, I started crying. I was like, really? So we're just going to give it to him so he doesn't cry about it?
Jay is rubbing off on you, Darrell.
Wow.
Shit happens.
I mean, we've only been friends for, 10 years? So
but, Chris Godwin was a top 5 receiver last year. Top 5. 89.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, so I'm trashing it.
Yeah,
trashing the system. It is absolute trash.
Bring back NCAA,
bruh. The day it happens. Now with that we're real quick. I used to love NCAA for one reason. I used to love being able to.
I know
what you go through did. You go through your 4 years. You build up your I would build up like 4 or 5 years worth of draft classes. Shift the draft classes over to the other game system. Oh my! I brought it just for that reason, just to be able to go back and do that. God, man, those were good times.
Hey, funny story on the Madden I still play. It still asks me if I want to import my draft class.
Does it? But you would have to get 12. Was it NCAA 12? In order to do that. You should do that. You should do that.
No, I don't want
to. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, the next one. Cash or Trash. Earlier this week, Antonio Brown said that he's retiring. and he sounded very humble.
Bro,
And then the next
you
day,
need to get on some meds.
and
That's
then,
all I'm saying.
And then the next day, he's blasting Roger Goodell and all that stuff. And I mean, everybody blasts Roger Goodell every now and then, so I understand that part. But I mean,
yeah, but
come on.
I mean, we go from throwing a bag of gummy dicks at his ex-wife to,
You be doing off the wall stuff, man.
I mean,
My
this
man.
stuff. Man, I'm just asking. As a fan, I mean, you were a 6th round pick because you had the off the field issues at Central. And you became one of the best wide receivers in the league. Get the help you need so you can come back and finish what would have been a Hall of Fame career.
Him and Kanye, man. I swear.
Oh, no, you just don't even do it because you just gave Kanye his vice president.
Y'all already know what I'm saying. He's the hottest around, AB. And he come out there looking like the Fortnite character he did when he first... I can't.
He come out looking like Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. It's a bad deal, man. It's a bad deal. Next one. Cash or trash. Devontae Freeman will sign with a team before the season. Now, he said he hired an agent. I can't remember what agent. It might have been Rosenhaus. But he hired an agent to try to get him signed before the season. Do you think it happens? Cash or trash on it?
Trash. Just because his last couple seasons you saw a downgrade.
Right.
And running back is not as valued as it used to be. I know Tampa Bay reached out and we offered him like $2.5 million for 1 year, like a prove it deal.
Yeah.
Turned it down.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know where he think he's going to get this money from. You've been hurt half of your career for the most part, and I think that, and it's not a knock on him, but you got to think about it. You're an older running back who've had injuries. No one's going to put that money into you. They don't even want to put money into the running backs that are healthy.
Right.
let's just be honest. I mean, they're not. I mean,
you could see somebody going after, you know, if Lacy got back into somewhat of shape besides a gummy bear, you know, or even Trent Richardson would take money and I would put more vest in them than, you know, Devontae or Freeman, I'm sorry.
Right.
For me, it's just one of those things, you know, you think highly of yourself. Everybody should.
And you should. You should.
But be humble at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
be happy you're getting offers.
For me, I just can't see. You know, I think they said the Eagles were interested. There was a couple of teams interested in all that stuff. But, I mean, for me, I hate to say it. Unless he decides, Jay, he's going to take less money to prove it, then I'm going to trash it. You know, I mean, I just don't see it happening unless he's going to do that. But, all right, last one on Cash or Trash. Marvin Bagley Jr. It could be the third. I know it's one of the two. He's senior.
Whatever.
But Bagley has had he's shown flashes where okay, he
can
be good. Do you think he's a bust already in his his third, second, maybe is going into his third season coming up?
He makes me think of either what is it, Jackson from the Suns,
right,
or Beasley.
That's tough, and that's tough.
The way, you know, the hype,
right,
where he was drafted, and the way he's played.
Yeah, it's been really rough to see, man, because you know, coming out of Duke, we've seen the talent. Like, people are like,
he was
man,
up there,
but he just can't stay healthy.
It couldn't stay healthy, and the problem with that is those injuries that he's had have affected his performance when he is healthy.
See, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't know. I want to see him do well because I feel like he could be a really good piece. And that draft was a really good draft. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Aiden Doncic and Trae Young draft.
I preached from the beginning that Luka should have been taken first. No matter what, you know. He is a building block. All it's gonna take is one more piece for Dallas,
and they're gonna be hunting, brother. I mean, Because, I mean, Porzingis is already, like, when Porzingis is healthy, we've seen what Porzingis can do. He
Right.
can drop 30. And they've got solid pieces around the team now. But like you said, they're one. They get the right person in there that goes along with that, man. I'll tell you what, Dallas is going to be a problem.
But
Like a big problem.
Nobody expected Luka to. Luka plays like a 35-year-old veteran.
And he's 20.
Yeah.
he's a whole 20.
That-
It's kind of like how LeBron came out. You know, LeBron was 18, but he was playing like he was, 25 at the time that he came out.
But his hairline wasn't.
It
what's
must
up,
be
Bruce?
must be a December '84 thing with the hairlines, but we'll let that fly too. All right,
I thought you were
everybody.
born in '85.
I was born in '84. I'm 15 days older than LeBron. Exactly 15.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have got some of his talent.
Nah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I still love you.
All right, everybody. Truly appreciate everybody coming on to episode 261.
Nice.
It has definitely been a wild one.
And we'll have a show before the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll probably have one next week. Probably be Friday next week. So.
Not happening.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so probably won't happen then, but we'll get with
Thursday.
you. Thursday.
I'm just throwing shit out there.
Thursday at 7:30. There you go.
7:30. No, I'm
I
kidding.
will work.
We'll do it.
I'll be at work.
You don't work.
I work Monday through Thursday next week.
I sent some
6:30 to
Jason
7:30.
cheesecake. Hey Bruce. 2 words.
Don't you say bad things about
'Kay.
cheesecake.
2 words for you. Okay, bro?
Cheesecake is phenomenal, Bruce. So I know what you're thinking there. I'm not mad at you, brother. I'm definitely not mad at you.
That's like saying I sent Jay some from Monday cheese.
What? No, from under cheese, bro. That's not cute. But cheesecake is amazing.
Yeah. I have pictures of it on your face.
Yeah.
Everybody, be safe, be blessed. Have a great week.
Y'all take care of yourselves, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. That's crazy. Peace.